All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What do we got today?
Well, today we're heading to a place called Orïsha.
Orïsha sounds magical.
It was. Well, in the book it is, anyway. We're going to be talking about Children of Blood and Bone.
Oh, yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, it's the first in a trilogy, A Legacy of Orïsha, it's called, by Tomi Adeyemi. And it's all about magic and what happens when it disappears.
That's a pretty compelling premise. I'm intrigued already.
Yeah, it's a really interesting setup. So Orïsha is this land, really vibrant, steeped in Yoruba culture.
Okay.
And they had magic, all kinds of magic. But then something happened. The magic vanished.
Just like that. Gone.
Well, not exactly like that. It was more like a brutal crackdown. The ruling monarchy, they decided magic was dangerous, a threat to their power.
Ah, classic power struggle.
Exactly. So they sent in their soldiers, the raiders, and they just wiped out anyone who had magic. It was a massacre.
Wow, sounds pretty intense.
It was. And our main character, Zélie, she saw it all happen. She was just a kid when the raiders attacked her village and killed her mom.
And her mom was one of the magic users.
Yeah, she was a reaper. They could talk to spirits, guide them to the afterlife. It's all tied into the Yoruba deities. Really fascinating stuff.
So Zélie grows up in this world where magic's been suppressed, and Nikki carries the trauma of that loss. I can see how that would shape a person.
Absolutely. And it's not just personal loss. The whole culture's been robbed of something essential. You know, they had burners who could control fire, tiders who could manipulate water, all sorts of amazing abilities.
So when the magic vanished, it wasn't just a loss of power, but a loss of identity, heritage even. That's really powerful.
Right. It's like a part of their soul is missing. And Zélie, she feels that acutely. She wants to bring magic back, not just for herself, but for everyone.
So how does she do that? I mean, if the magic's gone, how can she bring it back?
Well, that's where her quest begins. She discovers she has a unique power, a connection to the source of magic. She's like the key to unlocking it again.
That must make her a target. If the monarchy wants to keep magic suppressed, they're going to come after her.
Oh yeah, she's in constant danger. The crown prince, he's ruthless. He's been raised to believe magic is evil, that his father was right to wipe it out. He'll stop at nothing to prevent it from returning.
Talk about high stakes.
Definitely. But Zélie, she's not alone. She finds allies along the way. There's this rogue princess, Amari.
A princess, so someone from within the ruling family is helping her.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic. Amari, she's seen the cruelty of her family. She knows what her brother's capable of. She wants to help Zélie, even if it means betraying her own blood.
Wow, so there's this whole rebellion brewing, and Zélie's right at the center of it.
And it's not just political intrigue. Orïsha itself is a dangerous place. There are these creatures, snow leoponaires. They're like giant magical leopards and vengeful spirits. Adeyemi really builds this world that feels alive, both beautiful and dangerous.
Almost like the land itself is reacting to the loss of magic, lashing out in pain.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to think about it. And on top of all that, Zélie's dealing with this internal struggle. She's learning to control her powers, but she's also falling for someone. And guess what? He's from the enemy's side.
Ooh, forbidden love. That always adds another layer of complexity.
Right. It's not just a simple us versus them situation. She's got to figure out where her loyalties lie and if she can trust them. It raises all these questions about forgiveness, empathy. Can you love someone who comes from a place that's hurt you so deeply?
And those questions apply to the bigger conflict, too, not just the romance. Can Zélie forgive the monarchy for what they did? Can she find a way to bridge the divide and bring healing to Orïsha?
It's what makes this book so compelling. It's action-packed, but it's also a deep exploration of grief, identity, and what it means to fight for what you believe in. You know, it's been praised by critics, became an instant New York Times bestseller. It's even been recognized as one of Time's top 100 fantasy books.
Well-deserved, I'd say. It sounds like Adeyemi's really crafted something special.
She has. So I'm curious, what would you do if magic suddenly disappeared from our world?
That's a tough one. I mean, would we even notice? So much of what we consider magic is just science we haven't fully understood yet.
True, but imagine if all the things we take for granted, technology, the internet, all of it just vanished. Would we try to bring it back?
I think we'd have to. We're too reliant on those things. But the question is, how? And what would we sacrifice in the process?
And who would lead the charge? Would it be someone like Zélie, someone who's been personally affected by the loss? Or would it be someone with more power, more resources, but maybe less understanding of the true cost?
Interesting questions. Makes you think.
It does, and that's what makes Children of Blood and Bone such a great read. It asks big questions, doesn't give easy answers, and it leaves you wanting more. I, for one, can't wait to see how Zélie's fight unfolds in the rest of the trilogy. But for now, we'll leave you with those questions to ponder. Until next time, keep exploring those worlds, both real and imagined.
And who knows, maybe we'll discover some magic along the way.